สวัสดีค่ะก็เช้านี้นะคะมาฝึกอ่านภาษาอังกฤษเพราะว่าฝนตกตั้งแต่เมื่อคืนนี้ค่ะออกไปไม่ได้เลยก็แฉะแล้วก็ลงสวนไม่ได้ก็เลยต้องติดอยู่ในบ้านเนี้ยก็มาฝึกภาษาอังกฤษดีกว่านะคะก็ Today I'm going to read a story from Spotlight. It's called The Promise to Stop at Two. Okay.What things should parents consider when starting a family? Many people immediately think about the money they need to start a family. Having a baby means getting more food and buying supplies that the baby might need. It can also mean losing money if a parent cannot work for a short time after the baby is born.Other people might think about the work required to have a baby. Babies require feeding often. They often wake up in the middle of the night. This can limit a person's sleep. Many people think about these kinds of things when starting a family. But would you consider the result or influence of a baby on the environment? Would you choose not to have a child if you knew it would negatively affect the environment? Some people are making exactly that choice. They are choosing to stop having children to protect the environment. Today on Spotlight, we'll look at a group that encourages people to stop at two. That is, the group encourages people to have no more than 2 children. They say this is the best chance for keeping our environment healthy for future generations. The Optimum Population Trust, or OPT, is a group concerned with how population growth affects the environment. The OPT believes the human population is growing too fast for the Earth to support it. If the population gets too big, the Earth will run out of resources for people to live on. The OPT works mainly in the United Kingdom, but they believe their ideas are important for people everywhere. Currently, the world's population is over 6.8 billion.But by the year 2050, that number may be closer to 9.1 billion. Many experts are concerned that the Earth's resources will not be able to serve so many people. A growing population affects the environment in many ways. For example, every person around the world creates waste, but more people create more waste.They use more natural resources. They expel more carbon dioxide and other harmful gases into the environment. Jonathan Porritt supports the OPT. He explains that each extra person in the United Kingdom alone produces an extra 11 tons of carbon dioxide every year. Add this to an increasing fertility rate. The OPT expects the population of the UK to increase by 16 million in about 50 years. However, if UK women would stop after having 2 children, the number could change. The population could grow by only 9 million instead.Many people around the world are already concerned with their influence on the environment. People reuse things. They try to reduce the waste they produce, or they work to save resources in other ways. But are they willing to change their plans for the family because of their concerns? Mr. Porritt says.People should connect their concerns about the natural environment with their decisions as possible parents. Every new human being is increasing the load on this planet. People cannot completely stop having children. This would cause the human population to decrease and finally die out. Also, people want to have children, but people can limit the size of their family. So, the OPT encourages people to stop after having 2 children. This way, people can still have children and do a good thing for the environment. The OPT has come up with a plan to encourage people to stop after having 2 children. They call it the Stop at 2 pledge. The pledge is a promise to try not to have more than 2 children. People can visit the OPT's website to sign the pledge. They then depend on that person to have 2 or less children. The pledge says having a smaller family, just 1 or 2 children instead of 3 or more, helps to reverse or slow down population growth. And by reversing population growth, we would be taking another green step towards environmental survival for all. But there are people who disagree with the OPT. They say that having more children does not always mean much more waste. In fact, having more children can mean that a family produces less waste when it is divided by each person. Rosie Whitehouse lives in the UK. She has 5 children, she says. Just because you have 5 children, it does not mean you have 5 times the amount of plastic play toys. You just have to say no more. Other people say having a large family means having a large support group. More children can take care of older or sick parents, or they can support each other if something bad happens. The BBC News group wrote a story about the OPT's Stop at 2 pledge. They invited readers to share their opinions. One person wrote, "Is having more than 2 children selfish?" No, environmental extremists are selfish for telling the rest of the world what it may or may not do. Another commenter wrote, "The environment is one of the reasons we have decided not to have any children. We would not want any children of ours to live in the sad future that is coming. The world cannot support the people it has already got. Having lots of children shows a lack of thought and care, in my opinion." And a third commenter named Lyndon suggested another answer to the problem. "I would agree it is selfish and not responsible to have more than 2 children. It is sad that the environment does not impact more of our decisions. It makes me very sad that these people who decide they need a large family do not seem to consider adoption. There are many children already in this world who would gain a lot from a loving home. Surely this is a far better way to have a large family." Having children is a personal decision. People must decide for themselves how many children they want to have. The OPT is very clear that they do not want to tell anyone what they must do, only what they can do.